Looks like you've been added to the close friends list. Welcome to the new and improved Close Friends List podcast, your weekly dose of laughs, gossip, and really whatever pops into our mind. As you know, the close friends list is always changing and always evolving, so make sure you stay a part of ours. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts and on social media at Close Friends List Pod. We're so excited to have you as a close friend. Now, on to the episode.
Welcome back to the podcast, guys, with your hosts, Katie, Aaron, and Adia here, where we chat about all things.
Exactly. And we're talking about
Yeah.
all things today.
We're talking about all things today. What's to come, is spring. And with that, tonight's question of the day. It's the first day of spring. What's your favorite thing about this season?
My favorite thing about spring is the weather. Spring is like my favorite season. And that goes into the beginning of summer and then the beginning of fall when it's like warmer outside. But I'm just a warm weather girly. So like the weather is always my favorite thing for spring. What about y'all?
Mine also has to be the weather. That sounds so like I wish I had more to say about it, but just like I went on a walk today after work and it was 65 degrees and sunny and it's like you cannot beat it. You know what I mean? Like two weeks ago I was sitting in my home at 5 p.m. with it fucking dark outside and it's fucking snowing 2 feet. Like just like literally cabin fever type energy. And I just feel like spring is always like the moment of because I'm also like I love a summer moment. And it's like, we're getting there. We're finally, like, we're so back type beat. You know what I mean? I'm like, spring, we are back, baby.
The fact that it's so bright and sunny and like wonderful outside, like right now, and it'll probably just be getting dark, like when we're wrapping up. And I'm just like, that's amazing. Like, I love the light. Like, thank you, daylight savings. Even though like we lose an hour, I'm like, I do love the longer sun time.
I'll lose that hour any day, honestly. It should just be like this all the time. Why do we have to go gain the hour? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But my favorite thing about the spring, probably, I mean, there's so many things. So,
well, not really. Pollen. It's muggy.
Yeah,
it's rainy.
So,
oh, okay. That's good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, Virginia Beach is like the second worst place in America to live for seasonal allergies.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I love that you don't have.
Yeah, I don't have pollen related allergies or food related. Any allergies, really.
Damn, you're just like a tank out here. No allergies or nothing.
Wow.
It's been a long day. So my favorite thing about spring, well, first off, I hate that stupid little groundhog that always lies and says that it's not going to be spring. So like, I just never believe what he says. I'm like, spring is going to be spring when it is. So forget him. His name's Phil or something like that. But
Punxsutawney Phil, get his name right.
Get
his name out of your mouth.
I hate that little guy. But my favorite thing about spring, it's all the same reasons you guys said. I really don't have anything new to add, but I mean it's great. It's better than fall. Like if I had to rank it, I'd probably say like summer, spring, fall, winter for the seasons. It is probably one of the more superior seasons just because it's so neutral. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. It's just right. The days are long, lots to do.
So I love all three of us like summer girls then? I knew Erin was. Is your fave?
I'm a summer girl.
Wow, look at us.
Spring is just my fave season, but like summer.
Oh, okay. It's like no wonder we took summer off. Like
I know.
we're
like, we're outside. Bye.
Exactly.
Hot girl summer. Yeah.
I mean,
literally, fall rolls around. It's like God. I need
something to do.
Yeah.
I remember the last day of like the summer, that they announced it, and I couldn't go to the beach that day, and I was just so mad. Like,
yeah,
I was like, okay, I can't ever leave here. I have to be close to a beach for summer.
Yeah.
And luckily, all of us are.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yep, the Pacific's right there.
The Pacific.
No mountain girls in here, right? I mean, we're not.
No.
That's why we're
Too
here.
fun.
That's why we're here.
Exactly.
With April comes spring, right?
Yeah.
Because this comes out in April. The first day of April is a pretty well known day. And if you went to my school,
Oh God.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
here we
I'm just
go.
kidding. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
have a school story. I don't have a
I
school
was
story.
like, oh,
I'm,
okay.
we
Slay.
had this thing
I mean,
called, no, I'm kidding.
it's really possible.
Spring ass
It is
Friday.
highly
No.
possible. I probably just don't remember or something. But
Yeah.
no, April Fools is
Yeah.
Yeah.
you either hate the day or you love the day. If you're like me, you loved the day back in the day when
Mhm.
you had like whimsical ideas of how to prank people. But when you're like
Yeah.
30, then it's like, don't play with me. Like
Yeah.
I don't have the patience. I don't have the time, the energy to be
Yeah.
pranked, played with, led afoot. None of that, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
did you guys have like any April Fools like traditions or like pranks or like something that you would do for April Fools? Because there's always like that one April Fools thing where everyone's like, I'm pregnant. And it's like,
Oh
okay,
my
that's
God.
so
Yeah.
old, you know? But like,
And triggering for a lot of people.
yes, like
Well,
not funny
Not
anymore,
me,
you know what
but
I'm saying?
yeah.
But like,
but
what about like what are your memories of April Fool's Day?
I'm gonna be honest, like I can't even remember, like April Fool's Day was just another day for me. Like I was not one of the prankers or prankies. I was just like sat there like, oh, April 1. And then in college I met a girl named Georgia and it was her birthday. So we were always like,
Ah,
here's this. But yeah, and now like you texted and you were like, let's do an April Fool's like funny moment. I was like, okay, I'll have to search the internet for that because I don't
yeah.
personally have any stories about that.
I will say I got some just like stories from life. Like I
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
because somebody said something about like clown moments, like moments you were a
Yeah.
clown maybe. So like I do have some stories, not necessarily April Fools related. When I think
Yeah.
about April Fools, it wasn't that serious for me either. I will say like something that stands out is in one of my French classes, they started well, they were telling us about April Fools in France, and it's called
Mhm.
Poisson d'avril. So it's like the April fish.
Mhm.
And you cut out like little fish and you like taped them to people, and it's kind of,
Oh,
just a little
yeah.
like
That's
kind of
silly.
gag, but
Yeah.
it's not like
Mm.
that serious, like, oh, I got fish or whatever. It's like
I
just kind of
got
cute.
fished. Yeah, that's
Well, I don't know
cute.
if they say that. I just like,
I hope they
but
do, but it probably sounds better in French. Like, anyway,
maybe
maybe.
maybe some stuff is, whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
so Poisson d'avril. So
Dang.
that's all I got. And then
Well,
Yeah.
I have some other like associated stories with clownery and
yeah.
pranks.
I mean, I've always loved April Fool's Day, like I said, when I was younger. And I think the main reason why is that I could literally say anything I wanted and
And
just
it didn't
everyone, oh,
matter.
it's April Fool's Day.
Adia
Like that
loves
Yeah.
to lie.
basically
That's
it was
just
like
it.
what's that movie where there's no laws and you get to kill
The
people?
Purge.
The
It's literally
purge.
like the purge for liars. Like it was like just
Yeah.
such a time to just lie out of my
Okay.
ass and be like, "Hey,
Interesting.
it's April Fool's Day," huh?
That's
Um,
so funny.
yeah. I mean, I
I
think
love that for you.
it was a time. Not that
Yeah.
I'm
What
like
was
a
your like
liar.
fave time? Like
Yeah, was there a
what
lie
was
that
your
went
fave
so
lie?
crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them lies, but
Well,
I don't want to call them lies, but like one thing that kind of I won't say like it started on April Fools, but like it became an April Fool's joke in the way that like people truly believed it. Which is definitely like a clownery moment for me, I will say, because I let people believe it. But in high school, I really wanted a nickname. Like I wanted something cool for people to call me, like
yeah.
watching that 70s show. I wanted to be like Fez or like, whatever. Just have like a nickname.
Yeah.
And I wanted a like an iconic stage name, really, because I was thinking like what when I become famous, like what are people gonna call me? And I knew
Mhm.
at the time, because big fan of Dr. Seuss, I loved alliteration, like words with like and like but and but. You know what I'm saying? Like the sounds
Mhm.
the same. So I made up my last name, to be a bunch, because I always was going to be like, it's just a bunch of cool, it's a bunch of awesome. Like that was like my
Oh my
tagline, a
gosh.
dia a
Mhm.
bunch, a dia a bunch, right? And this was right when Facebook started.
Yeah.
So what do? What do you make a Facebook? You put in your first name, you put in your last name. I put in my last name as a bunch, and I started to just ride the wave. People were like, is your last name really a bunch? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Mind
Okay,
you, my
okay.
brother goes to the same school as me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was already a thing. But I just became known as like Adia a bunch. Like, and I was like, this is my stage name. Like, this is amazing. Like, this sounds so cute. And
Yeah.
then I started to realize, like, oh my gosh, graduation is going to come up and they're going to read, mind you, a bunch, AB. It's like the first name, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta
But
tell people this is not like my last name. Like
but like the school would know that's not your last name, right?
Yeah.
the
They
Like I
have your
mean,
school knew,
forms.
yes. I'm saying
okay,
like
okay. Oh,
all of
you didn't
my
want to be outed
friends
at
and
graduation.
everyone
Okay.
knew it.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
And
would
you're
be
okay.
like,
like the first
oops.
person that
I
they would
see.
list off, and then they
Mhm.
Okay.
wouldn't, and then they'd say my real last name, and
They're
I'd have
like,
to
where are
walk
you?
in. Yeah.
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 So like, what
That's
started off as a silly joke, it basically my entire senior year, I had to tell people like, oh, that's not really my last name, like, like
that's crazy that people
nonchalantly.
A
like
year
actually
long?
No, they were
believe.
like, you're joking. They're like, I know you as
Oh
a
my
Dio
God.
Bunch. I'm like, I just made that name
That's
up because it's
crazy.
Facebook. Like, I don't
Oh my God.
know what
That's
to tell you
crazy.
guys. And yeah, it was just a time of having to tell people that wasn't my last name. And what
Mhm.
started as a joke and my little lie, it
I
Yeah.
really,
can't believe it went that far, like for that
I
long, you
know.
it
know?
That's
went pretty far
literally
because I
crazy.
never said, I never said
Yeah.
people. I mean, back then you could put anything you wanted on the internet. It was
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah.
No, 20
Yeah.
2009. We
I
I
went
was
was
about
to
like
to
when
say,
Facebook
school
started,
yeah.
yeah.
in
I
Yeah.
got one in 8th grade,
2009.
so
Me
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. There's definitely a clownery moment on my end when I have to let everyone know.
Mhm.
Hmm.
But April Fools, like
Haha.
For a whole
So
like 4
anyone
years, but
four
listening,
yeah.
years worth of an April Fool's joke. But yeah, I
yeah.
did love lying on that day. It was great.
Playing the long haul, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's so funny.
I have one that goes back pretty far. It's not April Fool's related, but it is like clown slash prankery related. I
Mhm.
was gonna save it for maybe like an episode in which Nikki was on, but I don't know if we would have something that's more fitting like for this story. Anyway,
Mm.
so when I was younger, apparently I wanted a brother, and
Allegedly, they
I
say.
had a sister. So I
Yeah.
think I was probably maybe 3 or 4. So that means Nikki was like 2-ish. And we were just playing in our little playroom or whatever. My mom was at work and my dad was downstairs, like, I don't know, watching TV or cooking or something. And I'm like, look, let's cut your hair. You know what I mean? Like, let's
Oh
make
my
it short like a
god.
boy's.
Yeah.
And Nikki's too. She doesn't fucking know
Mhm.
whatever. She doesn't care. So I get our little play chair out. I go downstairs to get the scissors. I remember because they're real adult scissors. You know what I mean? Like I had to sneak downstairs. I like pulled them out of the cabinet and I go back upstairs and I just start snipping. I'm cutting her hair. And at the time, Nikki had these like beautiful curls. I snipped them all off.
Oh.
Hey.
I mean,
Wow.
it wasn't in out of malice, you know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah.
just like, I want
Right.
a brother. So I remember my dad like peeking his head around the door and he goes
Oh my
downstairs and gets
god.
the phone and calls my mom.
Yeah.
We ended up having to go to my mom's work. We walk in, she looks at Nikki's hair, and they end up having to take her to like the little haircuttery place. And the lady said
Yeah.
that I did a good job. They didn't have to even out too much. But then unfortunately for Nikki, because she had a boy haircut, she got bullied on the playground for looking like a boy. And my mom would still dress her in pink, and she would just
Oh.
yell at like the boys would be like, "You're a boy, why are you wearing pink?" And Nikki would go, "Oh," and
Oh
just like
my
fight them.
gosh.
So
Damn.
that's
Please.
that. What can I say? Not really a prank, but like clown.
A little prank when you're a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like I remember at a later
crazy.
point, my dad was like, I just remember you guys were way too quiet up there.
Yeah.
Nikki's just
The
sitting in
way
her
the
little
door
chair.
was closed, like your
Well, I
dad was
think the
down the
door was
stairs.
open,
Oh,
but
okay.
he like just peeked his head around the corner. But I remember she
Yeah.
had a towel on and everything. Like I had her all like ready to go.
Like,
you
this is
know
the
what I mean?
salon. Katie
This is a
Salon.
salon. What can I say? And then the lady said I did a good job. So like, what else could you ask for? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's so funny.
it was a time.
How
That's for
long
sure.
did Nikki have like a short haircut? Like
A while, real like probably 6 months or more. Because I mean, it's just as
Yeah.
fast as it grows. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, but at a certain length, I guess you start. It looks more kind of girly again, but. It was
Mhm.
a long time, and it's been straight ever since. Not a curl in sight. I cut all those babies off.
Oh.
Wow.
That was the biggest problem. My mom was like, and she just never had those beautiful little curls again. I'm like, yeah, sorry,
Aw.
sorry, girl.
Sorry.
We're lucky nothing else
Yeah.
happened. I mean, I got scissors and shit. Like,
Oh my god. Yeah.
Literally.
it's an amazing. We tell that story all the time now. So we
Mhm.
moved on. We had fun.
We hope after, like
Mhm.
26 years,
Yeah.
like we
This is
can move
true.
on.
This is true.
That's so funny. As you were talking, I was like, okay, I have a pranky story because honestly, I was like, I'm boring.
This
What
ain't
do
my
I do?
life.
Like, I remember when I was in high school, I was a part of my youth group, obviously. I would spend like so much time there because I was like, love these friends. Like, it's just a fun, chill moment, blah, blah, blah. Also, there's a side of like church thrown in, but I'm like, love these friends, like, slay. And so we got like me and a few friends, like, we were like, I think juniors or seniors, but we were like close to the like youth pastor. He's like, his family had been in the church for ages, and then like all of our families had also been like going to that church for ages. So we like knew each other very well. And so we were like, you know what's so funny? What if we make a beach in his office? So we, like, me and a few people, yeah, me and a few people went to like the supply store, got sand. We got a like bucket. We got a fish. We literally like I think we just put like a mini pool, sand in the pool, and then like
Okay.
I don't think we actually like
Dumped it
put
on
sand on
carpet
the
or something.
ground. Yeah, like no,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And then we like gave him a fish and we were like, welcome to the beach. Like, here
Oh
you
my
go. And then he
gosh.
had to like clean it up, obviously. And just it was too much. He was like, why would you do that? I'm not going to take care of a fish. I'm like, why was this? And I was like,
Oh my gosh.
hee. And that reminded me of another time that there was another youth pastor. He was like more new, but we sticky noted his entire office.
Oh my gosh.
And it was not just like a couple sticky notes here and there. It was literally like wall filled of sticky notes plus sticky notes in like his books. And we were like, hee, here you go. Happy sticky note office. Like, welcome to the crew.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
But now that like that was crazy. And I was
That's
just
wild.
bored in Virginia, like
Well,
what other
Yeah.
what
else
other
to
things
do?
did I have to do? Like I
Make
wasn't
a
close to the
beach.
beach. Like I had to make
Yeah.
one.
That's funny.
Yeah. It was commitment. And we were like,
Well,
here's the
when
bit.
you said you guys like went to the supply store, I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Like,
We were
okay.
at
That's commitment.
Joann's, and then right next door was a PetSmart, and we were like, this is a great
Dang.
idea.
A live fish. Oh my gosh.
A live
Literally.
fish like in a bag here. And then we were like, what happened to the fish? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like,
Oh
you
no.
killed a fish. And he was like, you guys put a random fish on my desk in a bag. Like, what? I was
We
like,
had no
"That's a- that-
food, no nothing.
that was
Y'all
your
just brought him
pet."
here. Yeah.
Really?
Finding Nemo. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I wish I had like legit April Fool's Day pranks. I think probably most of the time it was just like, telling someone, I like you. And then it's like, April Fool's.
Mhm.
But in terms of like clownery, like
Yeah.
tomfoolery,
Yeah.
lots of that.
Mhm.
Lots of that.
Mhm.
Mischievous doesn't begin to describe it, but
Yeah.
also there's the other side of clownery that's not like mischievous clownery, like you're trying to be funny. It's like oh, you're like
You're
Bozo the
here are your clown
clown.
shoes. You're
Like,
Boo Boo the
you're
fool.
Yeah.
Like, here you go.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was mostly where I was at. Was like
Yeah.
that area. I wish it was the mischievous one, like the pranks and things
Yeah.
like that, but no, it was the embarrassing one.
Yeah.
I mean, all of 23, uh,
No.
22, 23, half of 24. I mean,
You're
pick the
like,
month. Pick the month and I'll tell you a different story, you know? But when
You
I
know when
think
April Fools do it in the clownery
Yeah.
moments?
that's what I'm saying. If I had to pick from my clownery years, my years at clown school, clown university, I don't know which one is like worse because they all have like varying levels of just like
Yeah.
at like I'm wearing the shoes or I'm wearing the red nose, I got the
Yeah. You
afro,
got the
like
wig on. Yeah.
yeah, like it just depends. It just
Yeah.
depends. But I think like the biggest clownery moment.
I'm interested to see what you'll say.
I'm really
Yeah.
trying to think like what I would like consider a clownery moment. Okay.
I-
Do you think you know one? Like, do you think you know one? Do you have a
Oh,
guess?
for your life?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Not off the top of my head. I
Yeah.
mean, if you start telling us a story, it might ring
And
a
I'll be like,
bell.
you know what? Yeah, but like,
Oh, yeah. I don't want
I
to
don't
out
know.
anyone or do anything like that. And some of it is
Yeah.
just actually embarrassing.
You're like my life, like my.
Yeah, it's like, oh shoot, this
It's
is gonna
just
be out. I think I'll list off a number of things that were clownery.
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Getting a
Love a
master's
list.
degree,
Well,
Yeah, from
okay.
getting
Liberty, wasn't
married,
it?
getting married.
I knew you would say getting married, but I didn't know if you were gonna like
Yeah,
actually
go into
say it. But
the details. Yeah,
yeah,
so master's
obviously,
degree,
yeah.
Right.
getting married. Honestly, big clownery event. I didn't get into stocks or anything that was gonna blow up like Snapchat, Instagram. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I
Well,
wasn't.
The Apple stock, like how
Sorry, I don't mean the stocks. I mean like stock and like what they were going to do, not actual stocks. Like I
are
didn't
you
pop.
talking about like social media, like just being famous
Yeah,
on social media
yeah,
kind of?
yeah. Like
Okay, okay,
popping
Oh,
okay.
in,
okay,
like
okay,
Yeah.
taking
okay. I was
stock of
like,
like
I mean,
that was.
fair.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like, it's
that's a
like saying buy
financial
a house
stock.
in 2008. Like, I don't know
No,
what to tell
Yeah.
you. It's
Well, it could
like,
be
no,
now
no.
too, you know.
Like,
well,
and I say that one because Alex and I had a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
right,
we
right.
remember.
I remember watching half of one of
Yeah,
your videos
same.
because I was like, I don't know if I can watch the rest of it.
I know. I was like,
Like,
this is cringy, but love.
it's right. So like back then, I feel like that worked. Like that
Well, and
stuff,
I
that
didn't know you
cringy.
like
Yeah.
that either. You know what I mean? Like, so it was like different. I was like, look,
Yeah.
they
Even when
And
I
like,
knew, like, even like when I knew you back then, I was like, oh, it's cringy, but like it's to 2010s. Like
yes.
it's
yeah,
not
that's true.
like that was just the time. That's what people were doing. But like if
Yeah.
you posted that right now, I'd be like, Adia, block yourself on
Right.
No,
everything. Like
literally.
delete it.
Yes.
Stop.
Yeah.
Cut it
And
out.
I think that's probably one of my bigger clownery moments of the three right there because
Yeah.
we were getting like actual traction, like
Right.
Yeah.
comments, people were
Yeah.
requesting videos, like, and I was like,
Not
I don't want to do
requesting
this.
videos is crazy.
Yeah.
Requesting like and not having to fake it either. Be like, we got lots of requests for this one. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not continuing that probably is like one of my
Yeah.
biggest clownery moments because I was
Yeah.
just so concerned with like what other people were going to think. And then I
Yeah.
look back at all of these YouTubers and I'm like, I could be there. I could have been there.
Now that you're talking about that, I remember multiple times me and Katie filmed like BFF like videos and challenges,
Yeah.
and we were like, we could have been like
Yes.
YouTube famous
I
already.
will say, I do think we were a little late even for those because we were like, what? I mean,
We-
it was in college.
It was like
so
in college, but I think it
Mhm.
was like maybe our junior
it was
or
a little bit
senior
later.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but I was
closer to like
like,
2015, 16.
yeah,
Because
but
those first, like, when we graduated high school, I feel like that was like the prime from the
Yeah.
ground
Mhm,
up
mhm.
moment, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
The
truly.
challenges.
Yeah.
all the-
Exactly.
yeah.
but like if we had kept hustling,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it is consistency, you know? So
Exactly.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like if you would have if we would have been
Exactly.
posting for the last 10 years like that, I mean, who's to say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Other
Wow.
clownery moment.
Clowns.
Other clownery moment was just MySpace days, knowing HTML but not knowing that that could be a
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because why was I doing HTML emails for
We
my
were all
job 4 months
coding, like,
ago?
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, I remember how to do this, and
Mhm.
I never knew it was a job. Clownery.
None of us did.
You know, okay, so that was big, but my mom had me take like a coding class.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember a thing, but it was like around the
Yeah.
same time, and I'm like, this is interesting. But yeah, no,
Oh.
I don't remember a thing. I just remember being in that class. Me and Molly were both there. Hey, girl, shout out.
Shout out
Damn.
Molly.
We did a lot together
Yeah.
in middle school.
Well, those
That's
are just like a list,
crazy.
but
Yeah,
specific clown, like actual like clownery behavior. Honestly, guys,
Mhm.
like you know it. You were on the close friends list. You were on the Finsta. Like
Yeah.
you know the delude. I wouldn't even know if it's delusion. Just the behavior that I had was so
Mhm.
well, and it wasn't just you. I feel like you were getting clowned, but like not at the fault of your own. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
people
feel
were
like
like saying things and doing things, and it's
yeah.
like, what the like, hello?
yes.
I
You
feel
know,
like
like
90% of what you posted, like on the Finsta, on the close friends, like it was not your fault. It was literally
right.
the
Thank
other
you.
person, and
Thank
Yeah.
like
you.
you were just being played, and
Yeah.
and you were like, well, I keep going back, so that was the clown move, or like
Right.
I,
Thank
Right, right.
yes. What
yeah,
Yeah.
even
but
makes it worse is that there's even still stuff that like you guys, like people like that were on the close friends list or the Finsta. Like I would go and
Like
post,
kind of
oh my
remember.
gosh, like he texted
yeah,
me, like why would he do that? But I'm not posting that. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for texting me back. Like I'm so like when can we meet up? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
yeah,
I never posted like the actual
yeah.
Yeah.
clownery that I was doing
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were
because
like, this is just
Right.
the funny bit that the
yes.
peeps can
And then the
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
crop is literally me being like actually
Yeah.
psychotic. Like
Yeah. If we looked
that
at your
was the clown
messages, then there
behavior.
was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
For
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, it went from like literally talking to someone that was practiced voodoo, had actual
Yeah.
voodoo tattoos, and be
Yeah.
like, well, as a Christian, it could work. Like I can look past that
You know.
to like literally having someone be like, I'm a Trumper but I like
Yeah, that's
Star
Yeah.
crazy.
Wars, and I'm like, well, I need a free dinner tonight. Like,
Well, that one
That,
you knew going in
first of
at
all,
least. It was the
you knew
second time
going
that you
in.
saw
it
him
was
though that
yes,
got me.
it
I
was the
think
second time.
I
Yeah.
think about that story so often of you circling the block, being like, actually, even
Yeah.
though you were like, it's the year, what year was it? 2023?
Yeah,
You were like,
Yeah.
actually, and we like Trump had been in office, out of office, all these things, and you were like, let's go. And I was like,
yeah,
wow,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a clown move. That was a fun time.
Yeah.
that was a clown move. Yeah, man,
So
You
funny.
know, it'd be like that sometimes.
a
Yeah.
lot of the
Mhm.
time. Uh,
Yeah. I'm trying to
unfortunate.
think of like a specific time. I feel like I just in college, I feel like I made clown moves because I was like, oh, I have a crush on this boy. And then like I just did stupid things that I would
Yeah,
never actually do. I went hiking one time for a boy and I literally hate hiking.
girl.
I
That's
hate
crazy.
hiking. And but he was like, "Oh, like make us lunch, like la la la." I was like, and so I like he drove we and it was like a group activity. It wasn't even just like a one-on-one solo moment. Like it was a group activity, but he was like, "Aaron, I will make you lunch if you come hiking." And I was like, "Okay."
Wait, and you're
And
like, he knows that I hate hiking, so he's gonna do something special for me, like make
exactly,
me
exactly. And like
lunch. Yeah.
he like made the soup, like made sandwiches, like had all the things. And I was like, "Okay." I was like, we're like, this is it. Like, here
This
we
is
are.
it. Yeah, he's proposing.
Uh he's
On
literally
this hill.
proposing in this group setting when we're not even dating. Like, I'm here for this. And so I like we went hiking and like I should have known from 2 seconds in when I was like wheezing up the trail with my asthmatic ass. I was like, I'm a clown, but like I kept going and I kept having to stop because I was like, I'm literally winded, didn't bring my inhaler, like I'm just out here. Then we're going, and he's like, oh yeah, like I also, because it was like 2 cars worth of people, he was like, also I accidentally brought us to the wrong side of the like mountains, so we're hiking up the like back way, which is the longer way. And I was like, okay, like, but I'm getting a lunch at the end of this.
Right.
Anyway, so then wow, this is bringing back so many. So
The
then
flashbacks.
I literally living, like, the memories are like playing in my mind. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I've suppressed that all since until this moment.
Right.
But we're going, we get to the top. I post a picture. Well, I take pictures. I'm like, look, I hiked, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, love this. We're going down. First of all, the way down takes half the amount of time because he's like, oh, yeah, this is actually the way. And I was like, you're literally so stupid. Anyway, so he's driving. I'm in the front seat, 2 friends in the back. The 2 friends in the back fall asleep. We're driving through these like mountainous, like Virginia roads. And we start like weaving. And I'm like, what's going on?
We didn't
And
weave
I
all the
was
way
like,
up.
I know. I was like, we're not weaving all the way up. Why are we weaving now? And so this man like was about to fall asleep at the wheel. And I was like, you need to pull over. Like, I'll drive. Like, hate that, but I'll drive. We pull over, switch spots. I start driving. 2 seconds later, he falls asleep. And I'm like, whatever. Okay, so I'm driving. Mind you, I just hiked and did like the most activity that I've done in literally ages. My legs are aching. Like they're like bricks, but I'm like,
Right.
I need to drive this automobile with these 3 sleeping passengers in the back, and we're still like, and it was like what I can't remember the name of the like mountain, but it was like an hour to and 45 minutes to 2 hours like away from VCU.
Oh
and
no.
and he like
Was
had
it by
basically,
Charlottesville?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
he had like basically like fallen asleep like so quickly after that, and I was like, you're a scrub. So then I was driving back, got back to Richmond, was like, had to park his car, was first of all had to find parking in the fan.
Exactly.
And so I was just like driving around hating life, and it was like a Saturday or a Sunday like evening, park, and then I'm like waddling back to my house because my legs are dying. I quickly take the quickest shower. I fall in my bed, sleep for the next 3 hours, and everyone's like, who wants to get dinner? Who wants it? I'm like, shut the fuck up. I literally I drove all this way while you all were sleeping. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that was a clown move. I completely forgot about that, but like I would say that is like one of my biggest, like, I can't remember another bigger clown moment that I've had.
I mean,
but I was like,
having to drive
wow.
home was crazy.
The
like
drive home, like even after
that's
I didn't want to go, but he was like,
exactly.
come on, come on, come on. Like everyone in that group chat was like begging me to go, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll go. But he's making me lunch, and that was that. It was
Not
rough.
even worth it.
Right. Oh
Literally
my
not even
gosh.
worth it. Do you see that man with me now? No. So like that's
That's the
that.
thing about Clownery. It's never worth it.
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
never an instance where the Clownery was like worth it.
Yeah.
Well, one of my stories, it gave me good memories, I guess.
Yeah.
Sort of. So one time that I clowned myself was I was in college. It was like first semester, I think. Maybe the second year, I don't remember. Either way, under 21, basically. Let's start there. And me and 2 of my little hometown friends, well, actually, we're all still good friends, whatever. We're like, let's celebrate New Year. So one of my friends knew this guy who knew somebody who was over 21, and we got a handle of blueberry burnett's and a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
Not Mountain Dew.
Yeah, girl, because it's so yummy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where were the brain cells? Not there.
Oh,
Zero places.
And
Yeah.
so I told my parents, I was like, we're just gonna celebrate New Year, like play the Wii, blah blah blah, whatever. So they were chilling upstairs, and me and my 2 friends were downstairs taking shots, making mixed drinks. Like I'd never done that
The
in
way
high
you're
school or
like
anything.
in the house, like
No,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
parents' house.
Yeah, we had glow sticks. We
Yeah.
ended up, so I remember, I don't know the time frame of things, obviously, at this point. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we're drinking, we're vibing. But we end up playing Just Dance for like 2 hours. We're
While
playing,
drunk.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're playing Disney Sing It. Like
Oh my
you know
gosh.
the vibes. We
Yeah.
got the microphone into the
Yeah.
fucking Wii and we're singing and we're having an amazing time. And then one of them gets sick and she's sick for like an hour and a half and we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is it now.
That's what
And
happens.
that's what happens. But we're like 19
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
and like
Yeah.
whatever. You just like don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up being fine the next day. Well, in the middle of the night, I end up getting sick. So it's like 4 a.m. I end up sleeping in the shower. I'm sick all
Oh my
morning.
God.
And
Yeah.
I remember like I went downstairs and my dad was downstairs and he was like, I've been up for a long time, Katie. I was like,
Oh my God.
yeah, yeah, aka like, girl, I know what's going on in this
Yeah.
house. And I was just like, you know what? And then
At least we were under your roof. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. No, well, and honestly, like we didn't get in trouble or anything.
Mm,
Probably because of that, realistically. They're like,
yeah.
you guys don't do it, like, go anywhere. You literally played fucking Wii Sing It, like Disney Sing It
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
three of you
yeah,
just like in the
yeah,
basement. Yeah.
exactly. In the living room. But anyway,
Nope.
and then my friends went to 7-Eleven, got me a Gatorade, and I do remember my mom saying, like, this is your punishment for doing that. Like, you feeling sick today. So
Yeah.
And so valid, Barb.
so some good memes, but definitely not a good morning, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh
You know, we
yeah.
had a good time, but at what cost? And you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I went out of our way for fucking blueberry burnets. Like, come on.
Oof.
I think we had to
Yeah.
drive somewhere like
Ooh.
far. It wasn't like down the street, whatever.
It's
Because
the Mountain Dew
whatever.
that did it. It's that
No,
green.
you know, we
It's
did
the
talk about it
blueberry
after.
mix. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Mountain Dew definitely had something to do with it because it's so caffeinated too. So it's like
Yeah.
yeah. There was
Yeah.
definitely
Basically made a
something
Four
there.
Loco, honestly.
Basically, yeah. Yeah.
Honestly?
Exactly. So
Wow.
it was a good time though. I mean, I definitely don't necessarily recommend, and this is not if you're listening, don't do that, but it's a good
Yeah.
time. It's a good time, ultimately.
Good.
I have to know, so we've been talking obviously about pranks and like April Fools, but like I feel like recently, like the last, I don't know, 5 years, I feel like brands have really been leaning into April Fools and like making
You
up
know
all
what
these
they
like
have?
fake like announcements
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, do you guys like them or like what's the tea there? I'm curious what you guys'
No.
thoughts are.
They
I
need
think
jail time, honestly, for me
yes.
personally.
Yes.
Okay, me too.
Like if it's not supposed to be so believable, you know, that you're like,
Yeah.
this is 100% fact. It's supposed to be a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but they make it look so real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean,
I
like
don't
real
like that because now I'm being
announcements. Yeah.
tricked. Like now I'm
Yeah.
being like,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and you're announcing something that people want potentially. Like you might
Yeah.
announce a new
Exactly.
flavor and it's like, wait, but like low key,
You're
we
like, wait,
want
and they're
that.
like,
Like,
just kidding.
yeah.
No,
I had
like
to
that.
when we started talking about it and like how people are like, whatever, if there's like something that stands out, I'm like, I need to know if like you guys also hate it. Cause that's like what I least look forward to about April Fools. Cause at this point, like you
Yeah.
said, we're 30. Like it's not like I'm pranking people on the daily, but
Mhm.
like when I open up like my social media, I don't want to see a fucking fake like video, like whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
No.
it's every brand. It's one thing if it was like
Yeah.
one or two, but it's like
Yeah.
literally for a whole day, you can't trust anything that they say online. Like, which is
Mhm.
what they
No.
want. Obviously, like it's a prank, but it's like,
Mhm.
look, I can't do it. Like,
Yeah.
I
I feel
I
like my
no.
least favorite thing is not even the brands, it's the actual people that I like follow on like whatever who
Okay.
still are like, I'm pregnant, I'm getting married,
Right,
Yeah.
I'm
right.
moving. And I'm like, can we just
It's
Mm-hmm.
stop?
supposed to
Because
be
like
a prank,
it
you
was
Yeah.
know?
funny 15 years ago when we like
Mm-hmm.
all like when it was like, oh, I'm getting married, and we're like, what? And they're like, just kidding, I'm not. But
Mm-hmm.
now
Yeah.
like so like we can't do this every year. And
Yeah.
then all the think pieces about like don't prank people because like like whatever, blah blah blah. Like, let's stop.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Fact.
agree.
Mhm.
I'm fine with the ones that are like very noticeably like this is
Mhm.
not real. You know, like
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like there was one where someone was like, we're changing the mascot. And it's like, that's not like you guys,
Yeah.
we all
Mhm.
know. We all know
Mhm.
the vibes here are not that. But
Mhm.
then some of these others, I'm like, y'all are playing me and I hate it. It's just like
Yeah.
overexposure of the market, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's just
I
too
just
much.
think it's been happening. It happens every year, like,
Yeah.
and it's been happening for ages. Like, the joke is dead now. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, if you really think you have something good, brands
Yeah.
do it, but like
Yeah.
you probably don't. So
Mm-hmm.
let's tank that idea and just get ready for our spring launches.
Well, I was about to say, if you have like good enough product, you don't need to fake like a
That
prank.
too. Yeah,
I just know I'm gonna be pissed off. I can feel it already.
I
Like,
Yeah, me
know.
too.
oh, I hate that I even asked the question because now I'm thinking about it.
I know. Now I'm like, ugh, and
Yeah,
dreading April 1.
literally.
At least it's
So
one of those
funny.
holidays. I mean, I guess it's not really a holiday. At least it's one
Yeah,
of those days where like it lands on the same day every year. Like if
that's
April
true.
Mhm.
Fools was like April 4th one year and then
It was
April
just like the
10th,
first Friday or
Thursday.
like
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thanksgiving, I'd
like,
be like, oh my gosh, please.
yeah.
Like I
yeah.
That
wouldn't
would
want
be traumatic, honestly. But
April to come
That
at
is
it
so
all.
real. Just opening Instagram one day and
be
everybody like
like,
going balls to the wall, and you're like, what is
yeah.
happening?
What is
Yeah.
happening? There's
No.
no, I love that actually. I think it would make April Fools better if it was like the first Thursday of
Oh,
every
yeah, yeah,
April. Like,
yeah.
it's
Something to
just
look forward
crazy.
to.
Yeah. You're like, what
Oh my
day?
gosh.
What are people doing?
Trust
So
no
funny.
one. That's
So yeah,
Literally.
you guys will not catch our brand catfishing people.
No.
Like,
no.
we will not be posting on April
And
Fools
then we
anything.
post like, we're breaking up. And people are like,
Oh my
what? Like,
God.
Maybe we
I
so,
don't
should actually.
well,
I don't think it's
it'll,
believable.
I don't think it's believable, but like if the people, well, I guess this comes out after April Fools, so we're like, maybe we
So if
did it,
you're
maybe we
listening, no.
didn't.
Maybe
Like
it's
if
a
you're
hit,
listening
maybe it's
to
a
this,
miss.
I have a crazy story that I
Oh, okay.
found on the
Oh,
internet of just someone who they're making clown moves.
yeah.
It's from our faves, Six Brown Chicks, who I get a lot of my stories from just because they're so funny. Okay, so Paige thought she was better than me. We both grew up poor. I chose to make money after high school, and she went to college. We lost contact until 3 months ago. I wanted to smash. Paige wanted a relationship, so I played along. She talks down to me, corrects me publicly if I don't say my words right. Paige always wants to go out. She looks good, but I've got the money. She introduced me to a few friends when we go out, and I linked with women in her circle to humiliate her, mainly because she wants me to buy drinks for everyone while she makes fun of my speech. I fell hard for one of her friends, Nia, and I ghosted Paige. Paige responded by slashing Nia's tires, name calling on social media, and showing up unannounced for sex. I slept with Paige just to ghost her again. Humiliation. But she FaceTimed Nia from my bed while I slept. Nia dumped me, and Paige won't leave me alone and claims she's pregnant. How do I get Nia to forgive me? How do I convince Paige to delete our mistake? Or she'll be a well educated single mom.
Okay, that's fucking crazy because
It was just
she
so
wanted a
toxic and
relationship the
funny.
whole time. So like
I
you thought you
know.
were playing her, but like she yeah.
It was like
She was honest up
the
front that she
the
was
guy was
interested in
toxic,
somebody. Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
And she wanted a relationship and she was here. It didn't seem like she was like, I'm better than you because I went to college and you make money,
Right.
but like that's just how this man took it. And
Yeah.
it's just like she asked him to buy a drink or two for her friends and he's like, I'm going to sleep with your friends now. And now Nia has
Yeah.
tire slashed, name
And
called on socials.
I feel
Yeah.
like this story is like a perfect example of like why women don't want to date men right now. Like it's
Yeah.
like
100%.
like I'm looking to date and you're telling me you just want to hook up and like okay sure whatever and then you're gonna hook up with my fucking friends and think that
Yeah.
it's crazy that I'm asking you to buy me a drink and like I'm like
Yeah.
if we're
Yeah.
sort of dating like that's not an ask like or like a big ask I
Not
guess
even
like
sort of dating,
Yeah.
like he
Well, yeah,
played
because
along, so they were in a
yeah,
relationship. Like
right. He did play along. That's right. Yeah, that's even worse.
exactly.
Because if he would have never said like I played along or whatever, like okay, maybe he still thinks it's hooking up, but like you willingly know that you're like sort
Yeah.
of in this relationship with this girl, and
Mm-hmm.
you're being the asshole about it.
Mm-hmm. So in
It's
conclusion,
crazy.
men are crazy.
I mean, basically, that's what that story tells me.
And if you
100.
stay with a man like that, clownery. Like I don't
Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds like Nia got out. She broke up with him or whatever. I don't know if they were actually
yeah.
dating. He said broke up, but like who
Well,
I guess who
I
knows? You know
think
what I mean?
he
With
was in
his
love with Nia. True.
yeah,
He was in love with Nia, but I
he
feel like
might have been
she
dating
was
them
just like a
both.
hookup moment because
Well,
she didn't want that
probably.
relationship. And then she knew he was dating her friend. It's all
Yeah.
messy. It's all messy.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, just
I'm
thought that was
silent because
a
I wish I could say I wouldn't have done something like that. So
yeah.
Okay, I see. I see. I'm like, let me think about that for a
pot
sec.
calling the kettle black there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're like, I want a relationship and he's like, yes, like obviously you're gonna believe him.
You're
Like if
right.
he's
I
like
mean,
agreeing to be in a
of
relationship and then
course.
obviously
Yeah.
you would be upset if he hooked up with one of your friends. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know if you would slash their tires. Like, would you wouldn't do that.
If I didn't have a kid, I
Well,
would.
and I guess it depends on how
Mm,
close of a friend they are too, because they did not
Yeah.
how close
specify
of a
if it was like
friend?
her BFF or like just someone in
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
friend group or just like an acquaintance or like a work. I
Yeah.
mean, there could be 100 different ways that they know each
True.
other. So
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
interesting.
And then also like the level of feelings that like Paige
Yeah,
has for the like I guess we will never, but Paige,
that's a
you
good
don't need
one.
him.
Yeah.
So true.
Keep it moving, you know?
Yeah.
Literally. Loves and
Loves
aches,
and
ladies. Who's
icks.
got them?
I will go. Okay, where do I want to start? Okay, I'll start with my ick. I only have one ick today. And it just relates to how the first three, like Monday through Wednesday of this week, were like so awful, so crazy, so busy at work. But it started on Sunday because I get a text from my boss and she's like, can you call this bookstore who's supposed to have a book event with our client today, or not was supposed to, had a book event with our client today as a book launch event for my client who just released a book. And because the client said that this bookstore didn't have her book. And I said, what we talking about? Because I spoke on the phone with these people multiple times confirming that they had her book. And so now I'm heated because homegirl just like wants another, our client kind of like wants another like excuse to just be angry. And we're like, what is actually happening? So anyway, so I had to call the bookstore and I was like, hey, I'm Erin with blah blah blah, heard that you didn't have her book at the book event. And they were like, oh yeah, sorry, it just like the order didn't come, blah blah blah. And I was like, but I spoke with so and so on
Mm-hmm.
March 5th and they verbally confirmed to me that the books were in stock and that like all this. And so now I'm like getting heated at this man on the phone, but like the
Yeah.
gag is he was not one of the people that like I was dealing with. It was like the other co-owner and like another shop girly, but he is like the co-owner, the other co-owner. And so he's just getting the brunt of like my
Right. Frustration.
anger
Yeah.
because I'm having to work on a Sunday when I was like laying about to nap, and now I'm
Well,
having to
and
call
you'd
this
already
man.
done your job. You'd already confirmed that they had everything. So, like,
Exactly.
what's the missing piece
Exactly.
here?
So what happened was my client has written like multiple books. So they had copies of her older books and not the one that was coming out for the book launch event that they were having at their bookstore. And
That's
I was like,
crazy.
what are we talking about? Like, multiple people verbally confirmed to me and to my boss that they had the books. Like, why are we doing this? So now they're like, oh, the shipment, like, I can see that it's coming tomorrow. I can see. And I was like, well, when did you order the books? Like,
Yeah.
because I know that you clearly ordered it late. So when did you order the books? This guy, who obviously, again, I haven't been working with, he was like, oh, it says that it was ordered on March 6th. March 6th? The event was March 16th. I was like,
You
mm,
booked her doing the book signing before the 6th, I'm
we
sure.
Yeah.
we started talking in January, mid-January. And we were like, okay, yes, like everything's done. Like boom, boom, boom. Like here's the books, here's the like publisher information, like here's everything. And I spoke to the girl on March 5th, remember, being like, you have the books. My client wants to come do a walkthrough like the week before, like blah, blah, blah. Everything is set. And she's like, yes, we have the books. Yes, she can do the walkthrough, la, la. So I'm like, what do you mean the books will order on March 6th? Because I spoke with so and so on March 5th. And he was like, oh, well, like maybe let me do some digging and see. And I was like, but I'm like, what can I do at this point? Because the event's already happened. They don't
Right.
have the books, so I'm not going to just yell at this random man. Like, if it was one of the girlies who picked up, I would have been heated. But I was like, this random man I haven't been dealing with. Anyway, so that just set off a whole like few days of just like mess at work and like just annoyance. So that's that. But now on to my loves. One, I discovered a soccer shop in LA that sells like vintage jerseys. It's called Saturday Football. And I bought
Ooh.
a like vintage jersey of this German player that I really love. And I was like, wow, like, love this. He's an icon. And now I have this jersey. And then my sister also was like, I want one. And I was like, okay. And so bought her one. And then this for the next 18 days, the Spurs are not playing. So I will have peace in my
Oh,
life.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like a
peace
good
in my
feeling for
life.
now because like they're on an international break. So I'll still see them like playing soccer because they're all with their like national team, but I won't have to feel the hurt that
Oh
is
my gosh. You can
Spurs
finally
football like recently. So that was lovely.
Love. Well, I will go. I only have one ick, and it's that I hate when the stars play while we're recording the podcast.
Cats are playing right now too.
I know, I know. I have both tabs up actually. I'm watching the play-by-plays every so
Oh
often.
my
I'm
gosh.
clicking.
Play-by-plays.
No, it's like this has happened now a few times, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't like it. I just don't like it. That's it. You know what I mean? Like
Honestly,
nothing else to say. Just don't like it.
yeah. Fair.
Let's see. And then loves. Okay, for some reason this week, hockey hugs have been really like hitting for me. Like when teams score and they all hug each other. It's like
Yeah.
they do that all the time, right? Like that's not anything new or
Mhm.
groundbreaking, but for some reason this week they've been like feeling really wholesome to me. And I don't know why. I wish I could tell you, but it's just like so cute.
That is so
Let's see. Okay, this is wild. So H3 did a subathon this week, and I've obviously been watching for a long time, and I've never committed to like becoming a member of their channel, because I didn't want to pay for it, obviously, and I got a gifted sub. So
Wow.
finally, it
I
took
love that.
for fucking ever, but I think it was a YouTube thing because I had to select something, and I'm like, you guys have never told me that. I've been watching live for years. Anyway, love a
Mhm.
gifted sub, so now I can watch some member episodes. And okay. God, I kind of have a lot this week. I'm sorry, guys. I'm also on Grills TikTok. Wait, have you guys seen these
like
videos? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
like teeth grills.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna I'm gonna have to send you guys like some of these TikToks because I love
But you
every
didn't know
single
the
one of
song
them.
Grills by Nelly? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Okay.
but okay, so you guys know I have a thing with teeth. Like I wanted to get fangs, and it's like these
Yeah.
like everybody's showing off their grills, and I'm like, yeah, like
Don't.
because it's one thing like when you see them like out and about, right? But it's like when it's tailored to your feed and there's 40 videos in a row, you're kind of like on another level. You know
You're
what
like,
I mean?
wait, these are cool. Yeah.
And I saw
did
somebody
you
who
see
had like
Kid Leroy's video?
I'll have to look, but
That's funny.
someone had like a fang and like it was just like it's kind of giving. But whatever. I have a thing with teeth and I love it. I'm gonna find them and I'll send them to you guys. One to not like 100.
I was like, thank you. Just one. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Another thing that's amazing this week, the new Hunger Games book came out. I haven't read it yet. She's being started tonight, but it's just like every time a Hunger Games book comes out, it's like I'm back. You know what I mean? The movie will be out next November. everything's the problem, the sad thing with the new release is that Suzanne Collins only writes when she has something to say, and I heard it's about like propaganda, and I'm like, girl, like I'm living that anyway.
We
And
get it.
yeah. And then my last love is small influencers this week.
Oh
I
yeah.
I've been like really finding some niche influencers and I love it because first of all, it feels like us a little bit where I'm like, we just love talking and we just love like chatting and things that we like. And that's what these feel like too. So I was looking and I listened to a Stars podcast called Sarcastic Remarks, and I wasn't sure how big they were because I've been listening for a few weeks now. And I ended up, I looked them up on YouTube. They have less than 600 subscribers, but they do like live episodes after every game. And I watched one and I was one of three people there.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I love it. You know what I mean? Like, keep doing it, like. I get that. How many we got some listeners, but we're not in the thousands. So
Yeah.
like I feel them and I'm gonna keep supporting them. And then there's another one that I read The Castle of Otranto this week, and there's this girl, Liberty India Rose. She also has less than 1,000 subscribers. She made a 40-minute long video about the Castle of Otranto and talking about gothic horror and gothic fiction and gothic people from like the 1500s or whatever. And I was just like, girl, like, and her channel is amazing. But it has less than 2,000 views. I'm like, let's
It's
ramp
always
this shit
those.
up. You know what I mean? Like, the video was so good, and her channel is really interesting. And I'm like, you can tell she's clearly passionate. And like, why are these not going bigger? Anyway, so I love a good small influencer this week. Especially when it's like a niche situation. Like, they should be bigger because they're such an expert at what they do. But whatever. Anyway, that's that.
Man, I feel like I haven't had a week then, you guys. My my ick for this week. So I'm obviously you guys are on TikTok, but there's this 7-part series about Hailey Bieber that's been going around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm begging, pleading for the Seleners to give it up. Like it's so old now. It is so old. And I can't believe I even watched all 7 parts to it. But it's like if she's a stalker, if she married him, good for her. She
Like
got
JB
what
married
she
her.
wanted.
Like, I mean,
They had
he's
a kid.
fine
Like,
with it. Like,
Yeah.
does he look like he's kind of depressed and like not doing
Going
well?
through it. Yeah.
That's that.
sure.
Yeah. But
But
like,
that's
other
what
than
he
that, facts are
wants.
facts. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. I just can't believe the discourse right now of people being like, she smiled.
Especially when Selena is like also engaged and like just
Yes.
like with someone else and like they're doing their couple content and it's just like
Mhm.
Yeah.
can we chill please?
There's always some resurgence and it's just
Mhm.
ridiculous. But yeah, that was a big ick this week. And then my other ick, every week, I try to find my loves and icks. Usually I screenshot them. Usually I have them saved in TikTok or like it's in an Instagram. But by the time comes, I can't find out where I did it. So I started to clean out my screenshots in my Google Photos. And I'm
Okay.
so irritated with myself for taking screenshots of everything. And I have not referenced one of these items.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah.
And I had to hold on, I have to look it up to tell you guys how many screenshots I have in my Google
You know,
Photos.
I'm sure because honestly, like you show up and you're like, where are my screenshots? And then you list like one love, and I'm like, you said screenshots. Like,
Yeah, like
And I
multiple.
always I
yeah.
always have screenshots. Okay, it's not showing me on my computer, so I need to do it on
Okay.
my phone really quick. But and the reason, like, one, there's duplicates in here because sometimes it
Yeah.
backs up my photo and then sometimes it like
Yeah.
makes a copy. So I will have like 2 different screenshots. I mean, they're the same screenshot, but I will have them and I never go back to them. And I pay for the freaking terabyte or
Yeah.
whatever of space.
Ooh,
Anyway,
terabyte.
so my ick is that I have to go through all of these screenshots and actually find the ones that I really need. Anyway, I'll find the number later. Um, and then my love for this week, I watched Zero Day on Netflix with Robert De Niro. It's a political drama.
Okay. I've been seeing
Usually,
a little bit about
Oh,
this.
actually
I
Roger was
recognize the
mentioning that.
name.
like I
Mhm.
didn't
Yeah.
want to watch it because I'm like, why do I need to watch this when I'm living it? But
Yeah.
it was like the first time that I had like time to sit down and binge a show, and I'm like, okay, there's like 5 episodes. Anyway, I am obsessed with it, and I'm so mad that it's a limited series. But I think I'm more mad because I thought this was like cinema. Like I thought this was a masterpiece. And then I go look on Reddit and people are like, this is the dullest thing I've ever, like, I snoozed at the first episode. I'm like,
Oh my
you can watch the
Like,
gosh.
same thing.
where?
Like, I
That's so
loved
funny.
this. Like, it was great. So I don't know. Maybe I'm tweaking, but I loved it. So
Huh.
recommend for sure.
I have only heard a little bit about it, but I don't remember if it was good or bad, just that like I've seen the title floating
Yeah,
around. So
Yeah, same.
it's on Blue Sky, so probably not
it's
anything
good.
good.
I'd love to see what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Robert De Niro, like for no reason. Like
Mm.
he's fine, obviously, but
I didn't realize it was him until like 10 minutes into the episode.
I'm not going out of my way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I
That's so
One of
just
funny.
don't
those.
scream. Give him those numbers. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Oh, I guess, yeah. It's not necessarily about him, I guess either. Just I'd rather rewatch like To All the Boys I Loved Before or something. You know what I mean? Like
Gotcha.
something
Gotcha.
like
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
something like
Yeah,
yeah.
cinema. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I've been eyeing Twilight again, so we'll see.
Oh,
There you
yeah, I
go.
gotta watch that
Obviously.
again.
Obviously.
I haven't seen it enough, so what a
Well,
week.
Yeah,
what a week,
guys.
what a day, what a ep.
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous in the beginning. I'm gonna be honest. I was nervous in the beginning because we started off slow, and I was like, "This is gonna be our Lover Girls app." But then when we were doing the question of the week, and we were like, "Our favorite is the weather."
I know.
Oh, thank you everyone for listening. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on socials. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.